Hey guys, good evening. Thanks for joining. Hope everyone's staying warm. Wow, the wind out here is nuts. I hope I don't get blown away over the rainbow during the live stream. We're going to get started here in just a minute. I don't know, Freddie. We might have some of that on next weekend, brother. Blowing snow sideways in Oklahoma right now. Yeah. No thanks. I don't know. Either snow or, either snow or be windy. Don't do both. Don't do both. I don't think I want to have both out there or not, but hey guys, good evening. Seriously, it's weird out here because this shack is actually a shack in my backyard. Gosh, I just bumped that. It's actually a shack in my backyard, and I'm not inside my house. I'm inside my shack. So the building's small. I can hear everything. It's not moving. The building's not moving, so I should be thankful for that. But it's a bit weird. I can hear. I don't know. Something's moving around out there. I can hear it. But all right, good deal. Hey, Ham Radio 2.0 live stream Sunday night. Thanks for joining us. I hope everyone's staying warm. It is a new year. Happy New Year. If I have not spoken to you since last year, Happy New Year to all. Thanks for being here tonight. Special shout out to folks in green text in the chat. Wayne, I saw you in there, buddy, and W5WNR, I saw that you said you got your battery arrived a few days ago, so good deal. Congratulations on that. Tom, WB7OUT, I see AA0AM in there. Tim, Grayman POTA, thanks for joining. Freddie Max in there. Ham Radio Crusader. W5WLG, Wayne. Brian, I see you in there. Thanks for joining. Vic, Steven. Vic again. Who else is in there? Let's see. Chris, Radio and Life. Ron, KN4ZVU. Thanks for joining us tonight. Izzo's in the house. He says he has his cigar. Hopefully it's not too cold where you are. Of course, it's probably always cold where you are, Izzo. So he said it's 35 earlier. Okay, so that's with the wind chill. I think it's going to be slower. It's colder than that here. So Michael, Don, N5SKT, Darkside Overland. What's up, Patrick? We were just talking about some overlanding trips a minute ago, Patrick. I mentioned that, probably talk about that a little bit during the stream here. So, a couple of things. So, I had mentioned, we're going to get started here in just a minute with GridTracker 2. They got a 2 behind it. I'm going to try to talk them into making it 2.0, but you guys you be on my side when we bring them on here in a minute. So, but first thing, I had mentioned on the happy hour last month that I have budgeted some money for 2025, and I now have, Frank, I should have given you this, but I didn't. I now have the first sign-up form for the first HF radio giveaway for 2025. hamradio2.com/January25 should take you to this form. hamradio2.com/January25. I know, yeah, you probably won't be able to spell January correctly, Frank. So let me, yeah, there it is right there. I will share this in the chat. Here we go. I'll put all these links in the description below as well, or when the live stream's done. So hamradio2.com/January2025 will take you to this sign-up form. Name, email address, and call sign. Even if you're on my current email address, you need to sign up on this new address. You will not get duplicate emails. But this list will be all the people who sign up for the HF radio that will be given away at the end of this month. Probably a Yaesu FT891. Probably a Yaesu FT891. Because I picked one of those up on the Let's Make a Deal Gigaparts thing, And when I ordered it, it said it would be 2 to 4 weeks before it ships, which should be before end of January anyway. But I got a shipment notification from them last week, so it's very possible that thing's going to arrive sometime in the next few days. And of course, I'll take pictures of it, and whatnot. So we'll talk about it then. But yeah, probably the Yaesu, and if not, I have an Icon coming as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. But you guys go sign up for that. Good luck to you. We will talk about that on more live streams and do the drawing on probably the last live stream of this. Probably the last live stream of January. We'll see. I'm gonna hammer that out. We got the we got the folks from Winter Field Day coming on in a couple of weeks, and we've got the folks from Hemcation coming on the weekend after that. So we've got some cool live streams upcoming for you guys. And I had talked about, speaking of some overland stuff. So I got hooked up with a group called Agape Overland out of North Texas, and they do kind of spur the moment trips. Like they did a camp out at LBJ Grasslands sometime in like mid-December. They planned one for New Year's Eve, and I went out there and hung out with them for a few hours. And then they already and they kind of spur the moment yesterday. They went out to a place up in Oklahoma, Blue Lake, at the Blue River, something like that. Do some trout fishing. They got trout stock ponds up in Oklahoma, only about 2 or 3 hours away. So this is really cool. Anyway, so we're gonna do a Ham Radio 2.0 gathering, kind of like a test bed of a gathering up here at some point. This is a POTA spot. It's dispersed camping. It's free. We drive off into the place. You can drive off the road and camp anywhere that's within like 10 or 12 feet of the road. And there are some exceptions for that. There is a pavilion in there. You can I think you just reserve it. I don't even think it costs anything. I don't think, but the whole thing is a POTA spot. And I really, really want to do a overnight camping gathering, something for folks who are interested in off-roading, but also ham radio at a POTA spot. It's been my hope to do that for the last year and a half. So we're going to do that. No dates on that yet. We're going to talk about it soon. We're going to also talk about the More Expo upcoming in about 4 months in April. So more to come on all of that very soon. Sign up for the giveaway, and just be thinking in the back of your head, if you want to go camping, overlanding, and do some POTA with us, that's going to be a thing very soon. All right. That's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and bring on the team here. Tag, Bo, how are you guys doing tonight? Good. How? What's the weather like where you guys are? Where are you at? Oh, yeah. It's always cold in Oregon, isn't it? Well, this time of year. So, yeah, okay. All right, good. It's wet. Yeah, I imagine so. Cool. Bo, you're in an RV in Arizona, not too far from Quartz Fest.
Went to Quartz Fest this year, went the last couple of years, but the timing didn't work out. So we're headed to Tucson soon. And
okay.
At a BLM campground right now, which I just realized is close to a National Historic Trail. So
yeah,
missed a POTA opportunity.
Nice.
Circle back. Circle back.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry guys. I fixed the audio. My bad. I was trying to keep Frank out of my ear, and nobody can blame me for that. So, Tag, once again, introduce yourself. Tell us where you are, because I had you muted by mistake on that part.
I'm Tag Loomis. I'm in Lebanon, Oregon, and it's about 50 degrees out, rainy and cold.
Rainy and cold, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Tag, are you the original creator of GridTracker, or am I wrong about that?
You are correct.
Okay.
I released it in February 2018. I worked with Henry Forte, N0TTL. He worked on the data with me. That was all the grid squares for all of the DXCCs. There was a lot of initial work we came up with. And then, so it's coming up on 7 years.
Wow, nice. Okay. And this one's called GridTracker 2.0. Or, well, I'm gonna call it 2.0. That kind of just rolls off my tongue these days, though.
Sure.
No, it's actually called GridTracker 2 when you download it, and the executable file is a GridTracker 2, and I got that all installed up, and we're gonna look at that here in a second. So what are some of the major updates you've made to it to make it a version 2? There's actually been a lot of updates to it. I had Sebastian on
Mhm.
the live stream 2 or 3 years ago, and we went through what GridTracker did, you know, how to do certain things, went through the menus and whatnot. It was really great. There's been a lot of updates since then.
Yeah.
So what makes this one version 2 as compared to some of the other
So we
versions
ran
that
into
have
an
been-
issue. We were using an old framework called Node WebKit, also known as NWJS. And so that allowed us to be cross-platform on Mac, Linux, Windows. And it was starting to show its age, wasn't staying up current with bug fixes. And we were getting a lot of issues on older Windows systems and Macs firewall. And there were new entitlement issues for apps on the Mac. So unless you were following all the rules, our app was going to stop working very soon. So we decided to convert to Electron, which is it's a similar system that uses Chrome and Node together to create basically you're running GridTracker, just like Discord or Spotify is all running a Chrome engine. So you're running a Chromium web browser with a Node backend to talk to hardware. And and so that gives us cross-platform ability, and that's where Bo Gunderson came in and helped out with our conversion from this old system NWJS to Electron. So that's where the 2.0 comes from.
Gotcha.
And then we've added new projections driven by Bo. He wanted to see what we how the antenna is working. You know, as far as distance. Right now, or on a 2D map. What we call a Mercator projection. When you see a signal, you'll see an arc, and right. So we have a new projection, which is from your perspective, all transmitting lines are straight, because that's how the actual, you know, on a sphere, that's how the signal is propagated, is a straight line. So now we can now display that on a map, and that's a big part of things to both. So.
Good.
That's interesting. I like that idea because you're right. It's not the Arcadia projection going across.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
And so we had we fixed some things with the call roster. There was a lot of issues with log loading. We had some discrepancies with files loading out of order. That is, we would load confirmed before we loaded your unconfirmed QSO files. So there was a lot of issues with the 1.0 code base that we just needed to clean up. And so we took a 6-week break with not updating version 1, converted to Electron, started with the new maps, made some changes to the UI a little bit. You know, we didn't leave everything in the, you know, on the floor, but there were some things that we threw away. The old audio alert system was completely out of sync with the call roster. So if you had said that you were listening to live band and mode in the call roster, and you were listening to mixed band and mode in for your audio alerts, then when you got an alert, you didn't know why you weren't seeing it in the call roster. So now we've synchronized them both. So, you know, when you get an audio alert, you know why. If you look at the call roster, you'll see it there. So, and you can independently turn them on and off for things you're interested in. So in my case, like 6 meter, when I'm on 6 meter FT8, I want to know new grids, but I'm not hunting states at that point. So I can have 6 meter grids enabled for audio alerts, but I have them both enabled for the call roster. So I can see them both pop in, but only if I'm not at my desk. If I hear a new grid from my computer, I can run over and work the station.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, all right, good. And with the call roster, you're hunting for specific call signs.
I'm looking for grids and states on 6 meters.
Okay.
So on other other bands like 10 meters, I'm looking to look states or grids or DXCC. But
DXCC on 10 meters for sure. So okay. Good. Okay. Well, let's switch up. Well, Bo, do you have anything to add to that? I don't want to leave you out of the conversation. So.
No, just my contributions have been relatively modest. You know, I'm a new contributor and helped a lot with the Electron conversion because I maintain some other Electron apps. It works really well. Notarization and signing for macOS is a benefit of that. So if you see my name in the signed by, if you're on Mac, that's why.
Okay.
And Windows as well. You're signing our Windows.
Yes,
package.
yeah. I have from yet a different Electron app I maintain. Got all the Windows stuff ready. So, it's a ton of improvements. I've used it a bunch for POTA activations.
Nice.
as we have been beta testing it. And yeah, I'm excited about all the new stuff Tag has added mostly.
Does it run natively in Linux?
Yes,
It does.
it does.
Like a Debian flavor or something else?
We have packages for every Linux flavor, except
Really?
except for 32-bit Intel. We do not support. So
yeah, that's probably. What about Raspbian or just Raspberry Pi OS?
it works on Raspberry 5 through 3. 3 is really painful, but it does work. 4, it's a little sluggish depending on what you have on screen. Sometimes some people will have to disable 3D acceleration, but not everybody. And on the 5, it works like a dream.
Okay, what about on a 4?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, on a 4, it works pretty good.
Okay, all right, good. I'm working on I had mentioned on another video, I'm working on a kind of like what they call a cyber deck. And it's just basically a Raspberry Pi, mine's a Pi 4, with a big hard drive that's all this stuff that's downloaded on it and it's already installed, so you can go out into the field and connect it to your radio and use everything, but you don't have to be on the internet to do it. So but yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure I already downloaded GridTracker 2 for that, because I sent you a message and said it's called an installer.exe, which sometimes that means you download a little file, and when you click on the installer, it does this webgit from the website. And I wanted to know if it was a full installer that you downloaded or just a webgit, and you told me it was the full thing, which is my preferred way to do it, obviously. So, but yeah,
the caveat to that is the call sign databases, U.S. call sign and the Canadian call signs. Those are pulled after you've installed it. So maybe one time before you go out in the field, let it go grab the databases it needs, and then that's all you need. But it will still operate without. You just won't be able to see the call sign about the states where a U.S. caller is coming from.
Okay, fair enough. It's good. I see some questions in there. Frank, are you on top of that?
Yes, I am watching in the background for any questions, and I'll be interjecting them where they make sense or holding them to the end.
Okay, good. All right, so let's just pull this up right here. So I've got GridTracker running. This is this screen over on the left-hand side of my screen right here, and I can easily zoom in and out of. You can mouse over this and tell who that station is that's there. And the yellow is, I lost the legend. It was telling me a second ago. The yellow is grids I don't have. The blue is grids I do have, or I may have that backwards.
The yellow are your worked, and the green and blues are live. So if you go to the map view filters on the right there, and select data and select the data from logbook to live and live. No, not that. Then a few more down where it says logbook and live, change that to just live.
Logbook and live, just live. Okay.
So here's just live traffic that your radio is hearing.
Okay.
So the other is what you've worked. So you can switch between them. But for me, when I'm working, I keep the clutter on the screen down. But it's user preference, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Now, I don't know what the name of the window is, but there was a window in the older version that had just the list of call signs everything was hearing that was being shown on the map, and it was like on a window to the side or something. And I think that's the call roster? Okay, so that's probably this right. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right there. Right. Okay, good. I'm going to put that over top of this right here. So there's your call roster there. Okay. All right, so we can, and I noticed that the band was, you pretty much had to tell it which band you were on the old one.
No, always were able to select auto, and if you select auto, whatever WSJTX is set to is what is the GridTracker set to.
Okay, I had it set to auto earlier today when I was kind of fiddling with it, and it was and when I moved it to 10, and I was on 10 meters at the time, when I moved it to 10 meters, a bunch of the squares changed. So maybe that was because of this mixed and live thing that I was on before, or this live, and I had it on logbook and live.
Right, and so you'll see when you have it on that and you're switching bands, you'll see your different work for that band and mode.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good. Yeah, so the good thing is right here, you can see who's the second column. The first column is the call sign right here. It might be a little bit small on the screen for you guys, just maximize the window there. And this call sign is your first column here in the call roster, and the second column is the station that they're talking to, or if they're calling CQ, they're highlighted in green like that, so it's really easy to see who's calling CQ.
Right.
And I've always thought that was a neat. And you can click here. If I click there, my radio will start calling back to that CQ station.
If you click their call sign, yeah.
If you click the call sign, okay, that's what it is. And
so
then go ahead.
You can filter. If at the top we have exceptions at the top right, where you can define only wanted and CQ only, and that will reduce all the clutter to more things you're really interested in.
Gotcha.
So you're not seeing all the traffic from WSJTX.
Right. Okay, that's good. And then can you switch from if I wanted to just see DX, would that be not my DXCC or only my DX?
Not my DXCC.
Not my DXCC. Okay. All right. So right now I'm on 20 meters now because 10 meters kind of died. I'm seeing Chile, Dominican Republic, the Azores, and Puerto Rico.
While you're talking about the contacts, is there a way to filter out duplicates or stations you already worked for the day?
Well, for POTA, that's automatic. So stations you've worked that day will filter out. It filters out if you want to click new calls. Stations you've never or that you've worked won't appear, and so that's another exception.
Okay. Now, KA0AZS is calling me right now. So if I double click, do I have to double click on it to go back to him?
Just left click. It should
just left click. Hold on.
Actually,
left click.
I think you may need to respond via WSJTX.
Oh, okay. Well, I can certainly do that. Turn that off.
Yeah, one of the things about the call roster and its ability to control WSJTX is it's not actually controlling it. It's asking WSJTX to reply to this message.
Ah, okay.
And so WSJTX, we ask it, and it's up to it to respond with transmitting, or it could deny, not do anything. So we had a user today discover a new issue where they were transmitting yesterday. They called a station that wasn't calling CQ. They clicked on it in the call roster and it was transmitting. Today it wasn't, and we discovered why. That is, if the hold the TX frequency is not checked. If it's not checked, WSJTX will not start transmitting to will not reply to a decode unless that station's calling CQ, and that's to prevent users from interjecting in the middle of a QSO and transmitting on the same offset as the person they're in a QSO with.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I just made contact with KA0AZS, and I wasn't calling, so I assume he's probably in the chat right now. So
and that would be Randy. He's our main QA guy. He makes sure everything we produce is at least smoke tested before it goes out the door.
Okay. I admit, I've used GridTracker a whole lot here in the shack, but I've never used it on a POTA. So that intrigues me. I think that would be really fun because I always wipe my WSJTX log when I go to POTA, and I have it set. I have the color scheme set to where everything is like deep purple, I think it is. And then as you work stuff, it changes shades depending on grid and state and DXCC entity and all that kind of good stuff. So, but I always like that because when I work a station, it turns green, turns that station green on my list there. So I always say, okay, guys, I'm going to go green with FT8 over here. Stand by. So, but it's fun to see all the stuff you have worked when you're starting fresh from a fresh log that has no data and no information in it, and you can clearly tell who you have and have not worked literally today on this activation. I've always thought that was a neat thing to do. So, okay, cool. Well, let's dig in through some of these menus over here, if you don't mind.
Can we jump into our new view, the one we talked about that was
absolutely, yeah. Let's do that. Yeah,
the Azimuthal. Actually, Bo, why don't you introduce it? And because you're the one who wanted it.
Azimuthal equidistant, and it is a map projection where from the center of the projection. Any line from the center is going to be straight. It's not going to be like great circle route, or rather the great circle route is straight. And so if you compare any of those two lines, you can compare them because they're straight lines, and so you know, like the distances make much more sense visually to your eye. So yeah,
Gotcha.
if you click, it's that second icon in that big yep, that one right there.
Toggle as you're gonna have to say that word.
Azim,
Azimuthal?
well, I say it azimuthal. That might be wrong.
Azimuthal. Okay. Don't ask Frank to say it. I can't even pronounce it though. So
Azimuth?
okay. Yeah. Azimuthal. Let me maximize this just for the sake of this demonstration. And
Yeah,
I
and
can,
so your QTH, you got to update your QTH so that it's going to be centered on your location.
where do I update? This is a pretty fresh install of GridTracker. So where would I
I mean, tag, correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be getting it from WSJTX.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
In your settings, next to your call sign is where you should specify your grid, and it should change.
Yeah. I know that's correct. Yeah. Echo Mike 12 call sign. That's correct. It's all correct.
The grid?
Yes. In WSJTX, my grid is Echo Mike 12, and that is where I'm at.
Okay. Click on settings, and then go to general and check your grid. It would be the green gear next to the ADA.
Gear.
I always lose that one too.
Yeah, there's. Oh, I see it. Okay, and go to grid.
And what is your grid square there? I keep pointing at the.
On the it says center grid square Echo Mike 12. It's correct.
Okay, why don't you enter it again or change it and then change it back? I've not seen this happen.
Okay.
Before.
There we go.
There we go.
Is that correct now?
Yes.
Okay, let me change it back. Okay, I just changed it to 13. Okay, so this is how it should look.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a new issue we've not seen before.
Yeah, this is a pretty fresh install. I've been out of town for the last 3 nights. It's actually the last weekend of regular hunting season in Texas, so that's where I've been. So I installed this about noon today, and haven't really done much with it since then. But I did see that it pulled in all my information as it should from WSJTX. And this WSJTX log is very, very old and long, so I've been compiling it for a long time now, which is I think a good thing. But yeah, okay, good.
So now it's kind of hard to see since you're like centered in the United States. You're not seeing the distortions as much. So
right.
if you zoom out,
okay,
and you'll see what the layout will start to change. And
oh yeah, how it's kind of curved over there. Europe is like.
Yep. If you keep zooming out, you'll see a lot more distortions.
Yes. Okay. And then it has so this guy here is straight line to the Congo. Wow. So yeah, this D2UI in the Congo is working KB9NAL, it looks like.
So if you notice, from some stations to other stations, there'll still be some curves, but any transmissions to you or from your grid square will appear as a perfectly straight line.
There's somebody was just calling me just then. Yeah, somebody looked like they were from California. So okay.
And so we've added range rings. So there's a ring around at 2,500 kilometers, and
that's what this big circle here means.
Yes, and that's adjustable. You can change it in settings map if you don't like it, or if you want tighter, or if you set it to 0, it'll disable them.
Oh, okay. 2,500 miles. That's pretty wild. Okay, let's see who's calling me. I don't see it now. So call me again if you want to. Okay. Well, I like that view. I think that's a neat view. I think that's a really cool thing that we couldn't do before. So that's good. That's really good.
It kind of makes what you can see make more sense because there's no map distortion. So you can kind of get a sense for how the band is, right? Like if everybody you can see is kind of grouped at that 2,500 kilometer mark, you get a sense for the skip zone.
Right.
Whereas on the previous projection, you kind of had you could get a sense, but there was also like the map distortion to contend with.
Right. Okay. Apparently that's me calling to KI6TAM, but he stopped responding to me, or we lost propagation, whatever the case may be. So, okay. Well, I think that's a great view. Very cool. Okay.
So one of the cool things that we discovered, or that we started to visualize, if you zoom out and then turn on the prediction layers, and we support 4, the EPI prediction layers and the probability of Aurora. They warp around the map as well, and so with the probability of Aurora, you can actually see the Aurora Borealis, the potential for it, as predicted by NASA, which is updated every 30 minutes, and that's also supported on the main map. But it actually looks pretty neat because it's circular.
When it's over the question along the same lines, do you have gray line?
Well, we do on the maps. We do have gray line on the 2D map. It's problematic on the AEQD, which is we just shortened it. It's AEQD projection for we don't support it as of right now. We want to. It's just getting the math to support it. There's also many gray line algorithms out there, and they all support rendering on a 2D map, not in not in this projection. So it'll take us some time to get it supported.
All right, so you're talking about different map layers. Where do I go to change that?
So there's a question mark where it looks like a skip arrows. It's right next to the radar button on the middle, just below the gear.
Yes,
that's the one.
Okay.
So the first one is the
that's the MUF, MUF, the maximum usable frequency.
Right, and then the inverse. I forgot the name of it. That if you click it again, it'll go to the next one, which is the vertical version of the MUF. And then if you click it one more time, which is the EPI, the ES prediction, and then one more time gives you the probability of Aurora.
Oh, so it's okay. So the probability is up there right now.
So if you zoom out, you'll see it's on both the north and the south pole. If you keep going, you'll see the. Oh
yeah. Okay. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's almost like you guys built in the geochron to this or something. So.
Inevitable discovery. Okay. That's what I call it.
Right. Yes. Yes. For sure. Okay. So what is no, not that one. So if we go back to EPI, what are these colors representing here?
The probability that you'll have ES scatter.
Okay, and that it's the like the red more probable or less probable.
White is the most. Where it starts to go black, it's almost 100% guaranteed. But again, none of it is guaranteed at all. You're dealing with 6 meters in scatter. So.
Okay.
If you click down on the lower right of the map, there's an attribution that should say, if you click it, will actually take you to their website where we grab this image from. Tell you more about how they decide what those colors actually mean and what we're seeing. So we just provided the layer.
I see. Okay, good. Can y'all hear those sirens? Good. Okay. Sirens going by outside. All right, good.
A question somebody asked, Digital Dreamer, how current is the data? So most of these are updated every 30 minutes. Some are updated every 15.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm working you guys. I'm not trying to ignore you, so sorry about that. But we are demonstrating this software here. So somebody had asked about the settings button. They said is the setting button been removed? No, it's right here. This green gear, second row, fourth button from the left. This is the settings button right here. If that's the settings you're talking about, but it's still in there.
Or you can press Control S at any time, and that'll take you to settings.
Control S. Okay. All right. Good to know.
I had a quick question, Jason, about the windows you had. You had one window showing a waterfall and your radio settings. That's not GridTracker. That's another application running a radio.
Talking about this right here?
Yeah, or is that an integrated pane to GridTracker?
This is Flex Radio. Okay. So so I'm using Flex Radio Smart SDR on my Flex the way I've been doing for years and years. but we're not really, and it's just a single slice to emulate a what I'd call a normal radio, a non-SDR radio perhaps. But yeah, this will work with anything. This will work with anything that's WSJTX is running. I have the Flex Radio software up here running right now because that's the radio I'm running. But you could do it with ICOM and Kenwood and everybody else. So yeah, but that's all that is right there.
Are you ready for some questions here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the unless Tag, you want to take us and show us something else real quick.
Yeah.
How about you, Bo? Do you want to jump in?
I think I don't have anything queued up in terms of new features, but maybe the questions will.
The questions will reveal a lot of that. So go ahead, Frank.
Okay, awesome. Is there a POTA integration tracker? This is from Don.
Yes, there's a POTA for POTA hunting, not for POTA activate. So we put a lot of effort into hunting, but not so much in activation quite yet.
So if I understand that correctly, you can hunt different parks, and it will tell you on the map, color wise, I guess, if you've worked that park or not. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Let's reset your map to you can just turn off the prediction layer. Well, just one more. Okay, so
no, I'm sorry. I was
go to settings.
There we go.
The settings features tab, and under features will be under online is POTA hunting. Should be the second option.
POTA hunting is right there. Okay,
turn that on, and then now you'll see a new button appears in the button panel that's called POTA. If you click it, it will show you current parks that are currently on FT8 on 20 meters. I believe that's where you are.
Yes, I'm on 20.
So if you mouse over one of those parks, it will tell you who's there and what they're doing, what the last QSO may have been, if they're a self spot or so you learn where they are and who's there.
Now all of these, it looks like a tree. It looks like a Christmas tree to me without the lights on it. The icon that I'm seeing. So and they're all green.
Right. So what this is showing us, because your band is set to auto, which is great, the mode is mixed. So what you're asking GridTracker to show you is everything POTA on the 20 meter band, but what you're seeing with the tent is someone who's on band and on mode. So if you hover over a tree, they should be like SSB or CW as their current mode.
Yeah, there's two at this park, and they're both SSB.
So if you change your mode over in the map view filters to auto, then those will disappear, and you'll just be left with the ones that are currently on your abandoned mode.
Gotcha. Okay, so these are two. Yeah, there was somebody else on Frank. They're down here at your park at Cedar Hill State Park. There was somebody in the chat.
Get off of there. That's my park. Go home.
There was somebody in the chat saying they were driving through the. I think they were driving through the area. They were at US 2996. I'm like, oh, that's Frank's park.
Yeah. Go home. It's cold.
But I don't know if I could work you. You might be too close for me on 20 meters. But.
Are y'all pulling that data live from the POTA site, or are you pulling that from every 5 minutes? So, but you're not like scraping that through the WSJTX information. No. Okay.
No, we have an API that we call every 5 minutes to get all the park information or the parks that are currently being activated and scheduling. And so we can talk about that here in a minute. But we pull the future scheduling for, I think it's the next week worth of park activations that will occur, and that'll come in handy here in a few minutes when I talk about the call roster portion.
Okay. If I want to interact, if I see someone at this park, can I interact with them from this map, or do I have to go back to the call roster?
Oh no, you can right click, I believe, and it will generate messages in WSJT. Or no, it's left click. Will generate messages in WSJTX for you to believe it's the left click.
Left click.
Or did I screw that up? I think you may have to interact. This may be broken.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's most people use the call roster when dealing with POTA. So the map stuff, it's eye candy for most people, but it kind of gives you an idea who's out there, that people are on the air.
Is there a on the call roster itself? Is there? Okay. So there's a POTA checkbox right here.
Right. And when you click it, a new column will
A
appear.
new column pops up. I see that. Okay, I see that now. Okay, good. Yeah, I'd rather use the call roster anyway, but I was just wondering how to actually work that station if you were to see them active. I don't think this guy's active. He's just, it looks like that was, well, it says a minute and a half ago, but I'm not seeing him on the call roster, so he might be out there on the POTA website, but I'm not able to hear him on my radio. So, okay, good. Okay.
So, if you turn on only wanted to reduce the clutter, you just see just the POTA and anything that you're after. There's one
Right there.
But he's not calling CQ, or is he?
He's calling CQ POTA.
Okay, then so yeah. So if you click on him, Neil, if you catch him.
Oh, I just worked him. He's green on my screen. Well,
No,
I take that back. I didn't just work it. I've got him in my log, but it's probably from another day.
Right, and then so if you click on new calls in the exceptions, he'll still stay there. He'll remain in the call roster. It's under exceptions tab. There's new calls.
Exceptions tab.
Far right. Right there. Up.
New calls right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, exceptions. I didn't see where it said exceptions. I see it now. Okay. All right. Good.
So even if you've worked them before, if they're calling POTA and you're hunting POTA, they will appear in the roster.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
excellent. Okay.
And the bright pink POTA
yes.
Park ID means this is all-time new one. You've never worked them before. If you've worked them before, they'll appear a little dim. Dimmer than this bright pink.
Okay. That's good. Okay. I wonder if I can. Yeah, there we go.
And handy.
Better.
If you hold down Control and press plus or minus, it will increase or decrease the font size.
I was wondering if you could do that.
You just hold it down and zoom right in.
There we go.
Ooh, that's
nice. I like that.
Okay, and that works for any of the windows in GridTracker.
Okay.
And then if you want to reset, Control 0.
Control 0 reset. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's a neat view right there.
That's like a Chrome thing.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, he said it was running on Chromium now, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Quick
Go ahead,
questions on that. Is this software standalone, or do you have to install it? All right, it is. Do you have to install the standalone software, or is it incorporated in a web browser?
Oh, it's standalone. It's standalone.
Yeah.
It ships it shipped its own copy of Chrome and Node together in its own package called Electron. Just like if you have Spotify installed or Slack or Discord, same concept. It's its own standalone app.
Yeah.
So can you take this software and run it in the field without internet access?
Yes, you can.
You just won't have any of the live data updates.
Right. And you can simulate that at home if you can actually go to settings, features, and go offline, and it will make no internet calls at all. And it'll switch to internal maps, or what we call offline maps.
Settings and features. Okay, so settings and features and offline mode. That's the first one. Okay. Nice. I like that. I like the heck out of that.
So if you click it, it'll switch to satellite map, which we with GridTracker. And now there's no more internet access.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to turn it back on for this one, but next time I go out to POTA, I'm going to absolutely do that. That's neat. I like that. All right, go ahead, Frank. I know we got a lot of questions.
Is there a update link or an update button somewhere in the old software, or is this you got to download the new one and uninstall the old one?
GridTracker 2 now auto updates, or at least it'll prompt you to install on some systems, such as Linux, but Windows and Mac are self-updating. So when we release a new version, you fire up the version, or within every 12 hours we check and download if there's a new version. When you exit, it automatically installs.
So software as a service for it too. So if I have the old GridTracker, I have to uninstall that one and install the new one?
No, we prefer that you don't, because GridTracker 2 will import from previous version of GridTracker 1, version 0922 and 0908. We can import settings from it. Any GridTracker that you have that's older than that, you'll be starting fresh. So if you keep the old GridTracker installed, install the new one, we'll import settings, then you can uninstall the old GridTracker.
Okay.
But from then on, it will self-update, and everybody should be happy.
This
Hopefully.
question, yeah, that's the plan. It all goes out the window once you release the software and it all goes live. Question
I did not uninstall my old GridTracker. I just installed 2, and it put a second icon on my desktop. I have my old GridTracker and a second icon that says GridTracker 2 on it, and I just double-clicked on that to open this up, and it's working fine. So, yeah.
Nice. Question from Vic Miller here is, will I need to enter my logbook of the world or QRZ or any other logging credits or credentials after I install the new software?
No, provided that you met the criteria of V1, that is having GridTracker 1.24.0908 or 0922 installed. If you don't, then you're going to have to re-enter your credentials. So we tried to step this along so people could upgrade, but there's really nothing we can do to read the old settings from the old program. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and and we get a lot of complaints that I have to re-enter my credentials. It's like it's a password. It's it doesn't seem do you know how to log into Facebook once you're logged out? I do. Right. I mean it's like I forgot my password. Well, why didn't you write it down?
So
yeah, it's a little annoying, but you only have to do it once.
See, my theory on that is all these auto login stuff. People like them, but then they forget the password because they have everything auto login, and then they don't know what their password is. So I like hammering my password each and every time, so I never forget it.
Right.
And Lord help,
I'm the same way. I don't use any password managers.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean,
all ahead.
If the only place you have your password is saved in like the Chrome auto save password thing, you can still go look it up from Chrome. It's going to make you enter your system password, but it is saved there in a way where you can view the password.
That's true. I have seen that before. That's right.
That saved me a couple times.
Yeah. Okay.
I like this question from Chris here. Are you going to try to bring in some of the data from PSK Reporter or WSPR data into the map view?
Great question. Yes, we already do. We support it, and it's a great transition. Matthew in our zero Q suggests we talk about spots. So if you go back to your map view, and you've been transmitting throughout this, I'm sure.
Yes. Me?
So, yeah, you.
Yes.
The one with the map.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading questions in the chat. Yeah, I just worked somebody. He said he was on a True SDX. So yeah. I've been transmitting off and on, and people are calling me.
Perfect. So let's go back to the map view. GridTracker. Okay. Main window, and you'll see a spots button. It's on the second to bottom row of the button panel.
Setting the spots.
It's far left.
Far left. Oh, right here?
Mm-hmm.
View spot reports. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, wow. So that's everyone who's hearing me right now, PSK reporter wise?
What we call the off-air message service and PSK reporter. Yes.
Both of them. Okay.
Yep. So as you mouse over each of the spots, you'll get a signal report, and at the bottom it'll tell you the source where it came from of the spot.
Oh, that's very cool. I like that.
And this is if you scroll down, well, I can't see your legend for spots down on the lower right of the map, which shows you a time value, a slider there in the legend. And
max age is 15 minutes.
And so if you click on that and slide it left or right, you can see. You can change the time domain, obviously. So you see the last 5 minutes worth of spots, or we can go all the way up to a day.
Yeah. Well, there's the last 1 minute right there. Oh, that's neat.
Now click the spots button again, and you'll switch to our heat map mode. And
ooh.
This shows you kind of like what the signal strength as far as where you're really being heard. Whisper is going to be a lot lighter color. And the darker reds is where you're really being heard.
Yeah. Looks like Indiana is doing good for me right now. Huh. Okay. I like that. That's neat also.
So if you click it one more time, you'll click off spots and
turn it off.
Yeah, okay. Or you can leave it on. I mean, leave it on. I leave it on spots all the time. So
yeah, totally. Yeah,
I mean, it's great. When you have had it off all day, you fire it up. You want to make sure your rig's working. I call CQ. I see it light up across the world. I'm like, okay, good to go, ready to go.
Yeah. You're working. So Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's real time. There's no delay. The old GridTracker, it was a 5-minute refresh from PSK Reporter. We always had our live data. So if you were running GridTracker, other GridTracker users would spot report in real time. But it was just in GridTracker 2 where we support PSK Reporter's live feed.
I'm being heard by 2 stations in Trinidad and Tobago. Nice. That is cool. I like that. I like the heck out of that. Good. Okay. All right, Frank, what else?
Does this only work with FT8? Is there any chance for JS8 in the future from Brooks?
We've looked into JS8. There was a kind of a remix of WSJTX, and the messaging protocol for getting live data from WSJTX was modified in such a way from JS8 that it's incompatible. It requires polling to get data, and it's just an interface we can't seem to figure out how to make work with GridTracker. So for foreseeable future, the answer is no JS8 call. Unless we got to work together to figure out how we can get live real-time data without polling, we could support it. But
okay, that's fair. Okay, good. A lot of y'all calling me now.
Is there any PDF manuals or wikis available or more information to look into?
Yeah, we had a fantastic wiki for GridTracker 1, but a lot of it doesn't no longer applies. So we are actively working now. Matthew and our Zero Q and others are frantically trying to update the documentation and trying to stay ahead of me, because I make changes all the time, and then they have to go drop in new clip art for the things I've updated. So, but they're making progress, and we should have it out fairly soon. I don't have a date on it, but we are working on it, and we apologize.
Hey, man, that's always the last thing done in a developer's mind is documentation.
Right? I write this stuff. I make it happen, man.
Hey, I write code, not documentation.
Yeah, Frank can talk to you about code for a while.
All
right.
Is there a way to add like radar plots to the azimuth view, like during the summertime, so you can see watching storms or storms coming across? This is from Chris.
Sure. If you go back to the map, you can select the U.S. radar layer.
Radar. Is that this
third,
one? No, that's
third
the
row,
moon.
I think. Yeah, third
row.
row.
Oh, there it is.
Over.
Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Okay, so here's your storms right there. This is a geochron. I'm telling you. Where's the International Space Station? How do we pull that up?
I was about to say the only thing left is satellites.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow.
When you mention it, that's what we're working on.
That's good. Yeah, totally.
I love it.
Oh, good. Yeah, there's that line of storms moving through to the east of Texas right now. Wow. Looks like it's hitting Baton Rouge right now. That is neat. I like that. That is neat.
Well, it's not hitting us right now.
So you want a geochron? Now turn on the time zone layer.
Time zone layer. Okay. Which one is that?
The globe with the clock on it. Down one.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now if you zoom out, you can move around and you'll see all the time zones.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, look at them up there by themselves. Just
no, so puny.
So
cute.
Everybody's got to do their own time zone. Huh. It looks weird because of that azimuthal view.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you switch back, you just press that A key button again, and you'll switch back to Mercator projection. And then it'll look right, but you know.
Yeah. No, I like this view a lot. Maybe it's just because it's new. But I do. I like this view a lot. I think this is a really
correct
neat view.
For the scaling of land masses.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Very true.
And for your radio, for your signals, it's in a straight line, and you're talking to this guy 2,500 miles away, and there he is.
Right.
There's you don't have to. Your brain doesn't have to think about why is it curved, and
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. There's K7CAR on POTA again. He keeps popping in and out, so the propagation. I think 20 meters is starting to fade a little bit. It was a little bit more full than this when we started, but somebody asked me to go to 40 meters a minute ago. But oh yeah, KC4LZN. I just worked you, so thanks for being out there. Go ahead, Frank.
Does it also work in Hawaii? He's just having fun.
Okay.
The comment of the night, though, I like this. No documentation equals job security. Here, as a developer. Here.
Yeah. But we're not getting paid, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is free software, so this doesn't apply here. Oh, gosh. All right, what else, Frank?
I don't quite understand this question. It was from Hank. Is there a new call per band or over all bands?
I don't get that.
I don't understand
that was
either.
read word for word. No Frankisms. So, all right.
Type it again, Hank. I saw you in there a minute ago. Type it again. Reword that question, please. Go ahead. Go on to the next one, Frank.
This is from Grayman, so prepare yourselves.
Okay.
I use integrated FT8 program with a smart SDR for my Flex on a Mac. How do I set this up integration with the new GridTracker 2? Yeah.
Read that again. He uses what for smart SDR on a Mac?
He uses an integrated FT8 program with SDR, smart SDR for a Flex. Radio on a Mac.
Okay. So
set up the integration for the new GridTracker 2.
Okay, so for Mac OS and iOS, smart SDR. I don't remember if it's called smart, but the Flex Radio version of Mac OS and iOS is not written by Flex Radio. It's written by what's his name? I want to say Dwayne. I think that's wrong though. He's a German guy, and because Flex Radio has an open API, so anybody can write software that integrates with it.
That's awesome.
So, so I know what you're talking about, Tim. There's an integrated FT8 program inside of that software that is not WSJTX. So he's using the integrated software inside of that Mac OS program to work FT8 instead of WSJTX. So, in a nutshell, will GridTracker work with some other flavor of FT8 program that is not WSJTX?
We support JTDX and we support MSHV. Not on purpose, but as long as the message protocol is the original WSJTX protocol for sending out the digital messages, the API that they support, that we support, then it will work. So if it works in other programs, it should work with us, like Rumlog or what is it? I forgot the name of it. Bo would have a better idea since you're actually the Mac user of the group.
Yeah. But I think exactly what you said is right. If it supports the WSJTX protocol, then it works. If not, then no, it won't work.
Okay.
But it sounds if he had this working in GridTracker 1, it should also continue to work in GridTracker 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and just to clarify, it's not like we started from the ground up. GridTracker 2, 98% of the code is the original code from V1. So we've just been improving it, bug fixing it, and adding new things and providing more platforms for us. We even work on a Steam Deck.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can you can call roster from the living room while you're watching TV.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hank did answer us here. When clicking on a new call in the roster, is it a per band?
So like in the exceptions, you mean?
Well, okay. So when somebody appears in the call roster is entirely dependent on what you are looking for. So in the call roster, we have a logbook reference called logbook, and it by default says live band and mode. And so what you're seeing is stations away, if you're on 20 meters or 40 meters, let's say you're on 20 meters, FT8, anything appearing in there, it appears in the roster as new, something you have not worked on 20 meters in FT8. If you consider that no matter what band or mode you work them on, and they've considered worked, you select mixed band and modes for your logbook reference. So it doesn't matter if you worked them on 80, 40, 30. If you hear them on 20, you won't see them on the roster. And so we do, and it's independent. So you put it back to live band and mode, then it's just 20 meter FT8, for example.
So you can switch it back and forth, in other words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Good. Okay. I want to get that question by what's the frequency. Did you see that, Frank?
No, go for it.
Okay. All right. So he's asking, and I'm not sure I completely understand. Is there any plans to add support for other loggers like World Radio League or Smart Logger? But I don't know what logger. The logger I'm using right now, if that's what you're referring to, is just the logger built into WSJTX. That's the little pop-up window is just the WSJTX default log. So I have to go in here. If I want to add this, all these contacts I'm making, if I want to add them to Logbook of the World or Ham Radio Deluxe or something else, I have to manually do that. I mean, there might be a way to auto-integrate it. I've never done that.
Matthew kind of answered that question in the chat.
We have news for you.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You guys probably know more than I do. Go ahead.
So if you open settings, the green gear, and go to logging.
Settings and logging. Okay.
And then you select your service here where you want to forward your logs that come out of WSJTX.
Ah, okay.
And we support the Logbook of the World, EQSL, Club Log, all the ones here. We support loading of local log files if you want to export from other log programs we don't currently support directly, but we will send to N1MM, Log4M, N3FJP, DXKeeper, HRD Logbook. We pull from currently QRZ, Club Log, and Lodu, and N3FJP's AC Logger. We support that. We also support a live mode with AC Logger that if you are not using WSJTX or digital modes, but you are using AC Logger and you have your rig connected, we can track whether or not you're using SSB, sideband, RTTY, and get live updates from there. As well as when you log an entry in AC Log, it's automatically added to GridTracker and added to your map. So it's great for POTA hunting SSB, as an example.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Okay. Okay, Frank, you have anything else?
Kevin's asking, this is kind of rehashing, but I like it anyways. The green trees in the GridTracker, what do they mean?
They mean stations that are currently POTA stations, POTA activators that are not on your current band and mode.
That are not on your current band and mode. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
A tree with a tent is someone on band, on mode. And then once you work them, there'll be a green mountain with a sunset. It says you've now worked that park for the day.
Gotcha. Okay.
And at UTC 0, it'll reset back to a tree or a tent.
If they're still activating.
If they're still activating, correct.
Okay.
So, and one thing I want to mention real quick here. If you're going out to a park and you're an activator and you don't have internet access, please schedule it. Go to the POTA.app site and schedule that you're going to be at this park at this time in this window. So when GridTracker pulls that schedule every 5 minutes, when you do show up and you call CQ POTA, we know who you are. We don't have to wait for 5 minutes for self-activating, et cetera. So we know what your park ID is so that when we get a QSO with you, we report the correct park ID to the POTA app at the end of the QSO.
That's what you were talking about the other night when I was on there, wasn't it? It wasn't
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I rarely schedule my POTA activations because I'm usually doing sideband, and who in the world knows what frequency is going to be clear, or even what band I'm on, because I will check like 10, 15, and 17 meters when I get to the park. If any of those are up, I'd much rather work anything but 20 meters, just because 20 meters is always open. I'd rather work a band that's not as prevalent a lot of times. So I never schedule. But this is a good point, Tag. With FT, if you're going to go out to a park and work FT8, which is what I was doing on New Year or the 23rd, I think. No, not the 20th, the 30th. Yeah, 2 days before New Year's Eve. I was if you're going to work FT8, then it's always the same frequency. So you just put 20 meter FT8 or 10 meter FT8 or whatever you want to try to do. So yeah, that's it. Okay. I didn't think about it from that perspective, because I'm like, I hate doing the pre-planned thing, because you never end up, because you can say, well, I'm going to be on 20 meters, but
who knows if it's
where
open.
in the world? Well, 20 meters is going to be open probably, but where in the world am I going to be on 20 meters? Because I could be anywhere. So people say, oh, what frequency are you going to be on? I have no idea. It depends on what's open when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can probably find me on 14300 sometimes, but I don't say that out loud in most videos. So, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so yeah, but for FT8, that's a good idea. Okay, I see where you're coming from now with that tag. I was not following you the other night when you were texting me, but okay, good deal. Okay, go ahead, Frank. Do we have anything else? There's someone from Dawn up there.
Yes. Let me get back to it. Does it work with the built-in FTA in ham radios deluxe?
Ooh.
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. I don't know. When he is running that demo of Ham Radio Deluxe at Hamfests, he has WSJTX running. So I'm not sure. I've never done FT8 with Ham Radio Deluxe. I should do that. I should totally do that sometime, just to kind of see how it works. But I'm not sure. I'm not even sure myself exactly how that works. But okay. Okay. What else, Frank?
I think that's all I got. That's all the questions that I wrote down. I'm scrolling back up to see if I missed any.
Well, N5SKT has another question. Can we filter by DX entity on POTA? In other words, can I focus on POTA outside the U.S. And Canada?
Not exclusively. So the exception where you saw not my DXCC. It's per session, so it would you would lose everybody. So we don't have independent POTA exceptions against the rest of it. So
okay.
But yes, if you turn on not my DXCC, nothing in the roster will be from the U.S.
And then you could sort on the POTA column so that those at least go to the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another new feature that we added. V1 was so horrible. Partly because I was a horrible coder. I've been just trying to get a lot of stuff in that everybody wants, and then it's the basics that I miss. So it's column sorting. Our left click and hold a column header, and then move it to the left or the right.
Oh, I can rearrange my columns.
It took me 6 years to figure out how to do, but we now do it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And now in the main window, the buttons there, the ones that everybody loses track of, you can now sort them and put them where you want.
Oh, so can you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I can put settings at the top left, because that's when I'm always losing.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Hey, I'm going to put POTA up there too, because that's probably the one I'll be using most.
Yeah.
Boom.
And we got a new button released on the 1st, is the QTH button, the one right next to where you move that.
Yes, I see it.
We'll center the map on your home square, and so if you get confused off map, is zoomed in too far to a point where there's no more map tiles being rendered, you press that button, it'll take you home.
Press the QTH and boom, right there. Awesome. Okay. That's good. Okay. Sweet. I can't get over that. I really, really do like that view.
And we have, I don't know if users know this, but there's, I think 20 plus maps. So this is the default map nick by OpenStreetMaps. If you go to settings map, we have a drop down with all sorts of map styles. And you have full control over all the video aspects, the grid colors in the grids tab, width of what we call the QSX path lines, QRZ lines between people calling you back, so you can make them wider, different color.
Oh.
Full control. Lots of
Very
settings.
cool. Lots of settings in there. Okay.
My favorite now is light gray by day during the day, and streets down below it by night.
Streets.
See,
Street by Earl, or ESRL rather.
Yeah, Esri. Yeah.
Esri. Okay. Okay. Oh, I do. Yeah, that's a neat one. Okay.
So we're making inroads now of not supporting just digital modes. The first has been with AC log, getting rig updates from AC log. We would love to support FL Digi, other digital modes. One of the things I'm seeing is a big gap is the ability to know what your rig is doing, because one rig or one app, WSJTX, AC log, you name it, want exclusive access to the rig to get status. And I wish there was a common library, common interface that everybody would use to say, I'm just here, I just want to know what frequency we're on and what band. I don't want to control anything. I just want to read it. If there was a common interface where we could get that info, AC log doesn't need to control your rig, but it would like to know where you are so you can fill out your logs. So I wish there was a common API that was cross-platform that allowed for, sure, WSJTX to control the rig, but a whole bunch of other apps can just say, hey, what frequency are we on right now? Without having to talk to WSJTX that has to go through the rig, right? So, and that opens up the door for us to do more interesting things with GridTracker. So you can, use it for SSB, use it for CW.
Is there a good place for us to reach out, and if we have more questions after this, more like a Discord server?
Yes, there is. So our website, gridtracker.org, on the right is a community link for our Discord server.
I'm going there now so I can get that link. Bam.
Yep, gridtracker.org right here, and Discord on the right. I've been a member of this Discord server for a long time. They were talking trash about me in there earlier before the live stream, and then Tag's like, he's in here, right? I'm teased. They weren't really doing that, but no, they were. They were talking. They shared this live stream in their Discord, which I appreciate that. So, but Discord right there at the front of their website.
Hold on, I gotta go and turn on all the suppression stuff so I don't get slammed.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. All right, I'm in there now too.
We've been trying hard to make sure that hams enjoy GridTracker, and what we do with our updates don't, break the bus, break down. I wanted to go play FT8 this holiday season, so guess what we didn't do? We didn't release. So we had a stable version. We just sat on it. So we are mindful that people are now using this a lot, and we are mindful of not losing old features, or mindful of people coming from the old version to the new. There's a little bit of pain if you didn't update your GridTracker V1 to the latest before this migration, but it is what it is. But we're trying, and we are thinking about you guys. We're not trying to make anybody's life hard. So.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Awesome.
And it's free.
And it's free. Yeah, and it's free. Yeah.
So go download it. Play with it.
We do take donations, but we're just
Someone did ask earlier, how can we support the GridTracker project? So what y'all's answer to that?
Go to gridtracker.org and click the donate tab, and then click there's an icon there with a little hand with a coin on it. Just click it and it'll take you to our PayPal.
Right here at the top.
To push to the Apple Store to put it on there.
The Apple Store.
Or so you could download on.
Oh
Apple
yeah,
stuff.
to have a developer account, it's $100 a year. That Apple charges. Yeah. Well, we just use mine that I had anyway, so it's fine.
Well, it's money.
It is money. It is money.
Still money.
I did know 3 people donated to GridTracker during this stream. It looks like.
Good.
So thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Okay. All right. Anything else? This is going to be. I'm really looking forward to taking this out on POTA now. I really am.
You've got a message. GridTracker and POTA.
One thing that we can talk about. Now there's a flashing message sign right next to your mouse, and it's also on the app.
Right here.
Yeah, and it's also in the main window. And they have a pending message from somebody, and then the lower right there, with the flame, that's a new message. Somebody saying hi.
So is this a built-in chat room?
Yeah, well, it's peer-to-peer, single.
Right.
Well, it uses our own service, our off-edge message service. But yeah, so you can talk to, and then in the call roster, there's a column called ohms that you can enable, and that shows all the users that you're hearing who are on either Log4OM or GridTracker with messaging enabled. So you can click their call, that message button, and start a conversation with them over the internet. There's been some confusion that when you message here that you're going over the air. You're not.
Oh, you're going over the internet, yeah. Yeah, this is. I used to use this especially when I was on live streams. People would message me in version 1. So this has been around for a while. So it's a neat feature. I like it. Cool. Okay, I turned that OAMS column on. So yeah, I think that's an 8 KE8 JWE is on there. Okay, cool. Good. Okay. Anything else?
That's all I had today.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to trying this on POTA and hunting POTA even from here from the shack. I'm gonna fire this up tomorrow. 10 meters has been hot lately.
Oh yeah.
On FT8 especially. So I've been working a lot of 10 meter FT8 recently, and I'm looking forward to turning this back on to 10 meter. It kind of dies down when the sun goes down, which was about 2 hours ago here. But it'll be up and jumping again tomorrow, I bet. So I'm going to try to get back on 10 meters tomorrow and with this new software to see how it works. Good. Well, Tag, thank you much and Bo, both of you, thank you much for being on tonight. This is some cool updates you've made here. I think you're doing a really good thing with very forward thinking and responding to the community like you were talking about a minute ago. I think this is a great effort.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So okay, good. All right, Frank, if you want to do that now, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jason. My next live stream over on Tank Radio, January 12th. Go ahead and head over to Tank Radio. And there's the live stream that is up right now. Hit the notify me because it is going to be an amazing Gigapart sale. So if you missed out on the sale that we had a previous live stream, this is your second chance. Amazing Gigapart sale. More details will be announced on the day of at the live stream. This is only going to be available during the live stream. So go ahead, head over to Take Radio and go ahead and hit the notify me button. So when that goes live, you won't forget. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And I'm trying to dig up the link. Here we go. Tank Radio. Bam. And
Frank has a banner birthday this year like I did last year.
Yes.
It's not the same birthday, but it is a banner birthday.
Yes, it is a big birthday. And Gigaparts is helping me out celebrating. So this is the first live stream of the new year, and my birthday's New Year, so this is the perfect time to do it. So I can't wait. January 12th is going to be fun. Can't wait to see y'all there.
Good deal. All right, guys, hang out on Zoom for a minute. If you guys need to go, that's cool. If not, hang out on Zoom for a minute, and I'm going to close us out here. I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight, so I'm going to close us out here. Frank, thanks for the help tonight, as always. And then I'll be right back on Zoom with you guys here in a minute. So, when you sit in a hunting stand for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours, you kind of get bored. So I started getting bored. I love to watch Instagram reels. Started watching Instagram reels, and I found some really cool Instagram reels, and I'm like, you know what? This might be something that we can do, that I can talk about after a live stream. So we're going to see what how you guys like this. But here's what we're gonna do right here. I gotta find the right freaking nope. Find the right template. Here we go, right here. All right, so this one is about negative people. Don't want to be a negative person. And as a YouTuber, you get a lot of negative comments. You get a lot of positive comments also. You get a lot of positive comments on YouTube videos. The positive far outweighs the negative, but for some reason we as humans focus on the negative. So here's a thought about negative people that I wanted you guys to hear.
If people ruin your life. There was actually a study that was done in 2006. It was called the bad apple effect, where they took groups of 5 people and randomly added a negative person to some of the group to see how it would affect the group while they were working on tasks. The groups that had 1 negative person did 40% worse on all of their tasks, and the quality of their work decreased by 25%. They also found that groups that had a negative person had 50% more conflicts and more disagreements, which led to less effective collaboration. The crazy part about it though, these sessions were only like 30 to 60 minutes. Some of you have had negative people in your life your entire life though. Imagine what they're doing to you mentally. If people ruin your...
And then it kind of starts over again. So I found that, and I found a lot of other ones too. And then that just kind of spoke to me, and I thought, it's a good outlook to put into perspective when you get negative comments about people, about anything. There's a lot of back and forth on YouTube comments about bail things are ruining ham radio, or we shouldn't be talking to GMRS people, or whatever the heck. Okay, and there's some kind of outlandish comment. Don't be the negative person. Don't be the negative person in ham radio. Be the positive person. Be a positive influence in ham radio, because that's what's going to draw more people to ham radio and get us to grow as a community. So I just thought I'd share that that with you guys tonight. So thank you for joining me. I am going to kick off a new repeater initiative. I was going to try it. I didn't have it ready quite today, so be watching for that this week. Key up your local repeaters and get those more active. We're going to make 2025 the year of rebirth for repeaters. So 73 guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Check out GridTracker at their website. Go join their Discord. Thank those guys if you talk to them in the Discord for being on this live stream. And when they have some new updates here in a few months or a year or however long it is, when they make another update again, we'll bring them back on the show, because this is great information. 73 to all, and y'all have a good evening.